Welcome to The Daily Grind, a Bluff City Media daily podcast. Stepping up to the microphone is your host, Luke Hatmaker. Grab your favorite morning brew, and let's get to the show.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to your Friday edition of The Daily Grind. I am your temporary co-host, as Luke Hatmaker is out and about, heading out for a bachelor party this weekend. Super excited for him to get away and hang out with some buddies and have a nice weekend, and deserves the time away. So in the meantime, you get me, Rusty Buckets, as your co-host today. And today I have my guy, Jared Davidson, with me. Jared, how you doing, buddy? Yep, I thought so. Jared froze. So when he comes back, I will have Jared with me on the stage. I'm not sure what's going on with his internet on that end, but happy Friday, everybody. Welcome to the show. We're going to be talking some Thursday night football. We're going to be talking some NBA news as well. So, Wayno, if you are still up, sir, you might appreciate this show a little bit better since we're not just talking football. Shout out Jayla being first in the comments. I appreciate you being here. And even without Luke, y'all know that we've got to talk about my neighbors. I was talking to my neighbor this morning, and he said that back in the day, and I didn't know this, but back in the day, the use of commas and use of too many commas was a serious crime. The punishment, long sentences. Welcome to the Daily Grind. Last night, we had might have Jared back. Welcome back, Jared. How we doing, man?
We're good. The internet decides to, spaz out, as of course, right as we start the show, because
naturally
everything that can go wrong will go wrong is that old saying. But no, we're good. It's a good Friday out. It feels great outside up here in Martin this morning. I know it's supposed to get hot and muggy again this weekend, but this morning took the dog out on a walk, and I felt great. So it's just a great day, and excited to get this weekend started. Yeah,
you were talking about your wife's tradition on Friday mornings. My Friday morning when I lived in Martin for that little bit of time, there was that what's that coffee place that's right there, basically in the parking lot, like across the street from the sideline. Vintage. Vantage. Every Friday I'd go there, and I would, because this is back when Drew and I show dropped on Fridays at 3:00. I would go there on Friday morning. I would kind of clean up the show from the night before, get it posted, and I would get a cup of coffee and their acai bowl. And that was how I started my Friday every week. And I do miss Vantage Coffee because it's a cool little spot.
Yeah, we don't go to Vantage a lot just because it's kind of out of our way. But there's the not Martin Coffee House. Higher Ground is up here, is owned by the same people, so it kind of all tastes the same. So I will definitely probably be going to get me coffee before I have to go call a football game tonight.
I don't blame you. We got Jalen in the comments. Happy Friday to you as well, sir. Kenny coming in throwing some serious shade, but I am sure like your screen minus Luke Hatmaker looks a lot worse today. I will say that. But I'm grateful that I got Jared here with me today. But Jared, we did have some football last night, so we might as well dive into it. Oh, yeah. We're talking in the group chat last night a little bit, me and a couple buddies. Like, I'm not so sure that we're not looking at a potential Super Bowl dark horse in the Green Bay Packers. I mean, dominated last night from start to finish over a good Washington team. The biggest thing, we knew that their offense was going to be pretty good if Jordan Love can stay healthy and Josh Jacobs can run the ball. Yeah. But what's been most impressive is that Packers defense and how they contain Jaden Daniels and that Commanders offense. What was your big takeaways from last night?
Washington could not run the ball to save their lives last night. I think, just over 50 yards combined, only 2.7 yards per carry. Yeah. Of course, you lose Austin Eckler, which is, it's going to hurt because, ruptured his Achilles, non-contact. Soon that's your biggest fear when you see somebody go down with non-contact injuries. But then again, Jaden Daniels only 200 yards passing. So I think one of the shows yesterday, Daniel Greer said it, the Packers like to take away the run. They did that. But then again, they also took away the pass pretty much the entire game until garbage time, which is where both touchdowns came for Jaden Daniels and the Commanders. This Packers team, man, they're not even at full strength yet. And they just lost Reed to a broken collarbone. That's the crazy part. And you said Super Bowl dark horse, which I find funny. They flashed a graphic on the screen last night, and it was, the last three Packers, or three of the Packers Super Bowl wins. Bart Starr, 27.
Man, it was going to be such a good point, too, before his internet froze out. Yesterday, Luke Hatmaker got me with the "it's a trap." We were thinking that it was going to be, we were talking about who was going to score for Washington, and I poked fun at Zach Ertz being plus 1,800, and it ended up being like plus 2,700 is what it actually was. I poked a hole in the trap yesterday. But my guy scored last night. Had a 20-yard. His longest was 20 yards. He had a touchdown, 10.7 yards per catch for the ageless wonder that is Zach Ertz, his career continues to be extended by Jaden Daniels and continues to be an impact on this Washington offense, even though a lot of that was in garbage time, like Jared said last night. The thing that impressed me the most was just the way Jordan Love distributes the ball. Like, there's so many people that got involved last night for Green Bay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 guys caught passes. He targeted 7. Matthew Golden only had 2 targets, no catches. Welcome back, Jared. Are we back? Not quite. Matthew Golden had 2 targets last night, 0 catches, but Tucker Kraft was the story last night. There he is. I knew it wouldn't be long before Edward got here with his cheese in the comments. Welcome, Edward. You can gloat, man. You earned it. Green Bay absolutely pummeled Washington last night. Welcome back, Jared. Love it when the internet doesn't work, right, brother?
Dude, it hasn't done this all week. And, of course, the day you asked me to come on the show, it starts to do this.
Look, you poke fun at me all the time, but I'm telling you, StreamYard is heavy on Wi-Fi. It's a pain in the butt. Like, it's not just me, man.
No, it's not, because I have another show. We do our high school, kind of like our game day preview show on Friday mornings at 10 a.m. too. So I have another show to do later today on StreamYard. Hopefully it doesn't do this again, but I don't know what's going on. It hasn't really done this to me in a while. So we're gonna hope and pray we get through the rest of the show.
Yeah, all good. I was just talking about Jordan Love distributing the ball last night, but Tucker Kraft being his favorite target. Tight end had 6 catches for 124 yards, including a 57-yarder and a touchdown. Jordan Love's ability to spread the football around will lessen the loss of Jaden Reed quite a bit because he's able to find other targets and other guys get involved.
Oh, yeah, 100%. I mean, you have a big target like that who can – one thing I'm impressed with Kraft is he can move so well.
Motor, man, yeah.
Motor. And it's, you get a lot of tight ends who are, you're getting more and more tight ends these days who have the footwork of a wide receiver. And today I think Tucker Kraft embodies that, just how quick he moves upfield. He had one route, I think it was his first catch of the night, where a great route tree design for that play, but he just peeked open behind the safety or the corner. And you're like, how did he get his head and hips turned around that fast? But no, he's quick and shifty. So, like I said, this team is insane, dude. They're not at full health. Like you mentioned, Jordan Love, he's seeing the field better and better each season as he, has already obviously solidified himself as that full-time starter. But the more and more he progresses, the more and more you're seeing that decision-making get quicker and quicker and quicker. And that's so dangerous for opposing defenses.
Yeah, speaking of opposing defenses, the Packers aren't even at full strength on defense this morning. Micah Parsons is still trying to figure out the defense. He's not fully accustomed. I mean, I know he's been there, he's been there 2 weeks, but to get a guy like that can be an impact player who doesn't even know the defense fully yet, like, that's going to free up Green Bay's linebackers to make plays. It's going to help take some pressure off their secondary a little bit, because you got a guy up front that you have to account for on every single play. You got to know where one is on defense. And when he gets up to full speed, watch out. This Packers team is like, it feels like a juggernaut.
And he's not necessarily getting the numbers right now, but you look at it, so many teams are still having to put that emphasis on him. Yes, he hasn't learned the full defensive playbook, so he's being spotted pretty much at the line of scrimmage. But overall, you're still having to account for him, and he's still disrupting plays. It won't show up on the stat sheet, but you see the impact already. And once he fully dials in that playbook and how blitz packages work and things, Rusty, this team is going to be insane. They're going to have to rely on their defense a lot, because I think from the next 5-week span, they only have one game at home. So that in the good old saying in football, defense travels. So they're going to they're going to have to rely on them heavily. And I think you're about to see, maybe not next week, but in the next 3 weeks after that, you're really going to see the explosion of Micah Parsons on that Packers defensive line.
Absolutely. And that's scary for the rest of the NFL. The Green Bay's hitting their stride already, and we hadn't even got to October yet. They look like they're fully in midseason form. And I don't know, last thing, I don't know that we can necessarily take a ton away from this game about Washington because of how dominant Green Bay was. Like, I think what you can tell is they're not on the same playing field as the Packers. I think the Packers are ahead of them right now. But I still think that the Commanders are going to be one of the better teams in the NFC. They showed glimpses last night. They had some big plays late. They could get some momentum, but they just couldn't finish. They had like so many 3-and-outs, yes, but they had a couple like 6 plays and punts, and 7 plays and punts. So they were able to string a little bit together. I just think that the Packers dominated last night. Like they're going to dominate a lot of people this year. I still think the outlook for the Commanders is pretty high.
I do too. I think they're a better team than last year. But if you look at a few of those games last year, a little bit of luck came along in those wins down the stretch. Overall, I think the talent is better. And like I said, better overall. Completely forgot that Von Miller was on that defense until last night. And that still made me like, I'm glad to see him still in the league, considering how much he contributed to that Super Bowl 50 win for Denver. But I'm glad to see he's still there. But overall, I mean, you talk about Jordan Love distributing the ball. Jaden Daniels found 8 different receivers last night. So, I mean, they just didn't rip off any of those, I think, like just big chunk plays that they wanted. I think their longest passing play of the night was a 20-yard pass to Zach Ertz. But they just didn't rip off any of those chunk plays. Washington's going to be fine. I think they'll contend with the Eagles for that NFC East crown, maybe not win it, but I wouldn't be shocked if they make another deep postseason run. This Packers defense is just so good. They funneled the run away, and the DBs went to work. Overall, I'm not too concerned about Washington, but if this becomes a trend, maybe. You're about to get a heavy dose of Kroski-Mara, though, with
which, again, he's a good young rookie running back. He had a great week 1 against the Giants, faced a much more formidable defense last night. We'll see what he can do bouncing back next week. But I think I'm very glad that I got him in a couple fantasy football leagues, because you're right. He's going to be a workhorse. There you go. Yeah, he's going to be a workhorse in some leagues coming up. But we're going to take a quick commercial break. On the other side of the commercial, we're going to talk a little NBA basketball, because we do have a bit of news to cover.
Looking for an alternative to alcohol or conventional medicine? Check out Ounce of Hope, a Memphis-based dispensary with 2 local stores in the Sanderland Center and on South Cooper Street. You can get all the products you need in a location convenient to you. Each store offers an intentional shopping experience with dedicated bud tenders to answer all of your questions, from product selection and mushroom blends to our personal favorite, the Delta 9 seltzers. You gotta try the Peach Buzz. Try Ounce of Hope at either one of their 2 Memphis stores or at www.ounceofhope.com for convenient products shipped right to your door. Use the promo code BluffCity for 15% off any order, excluding sale items. Cannot be used in conjunction with other promotions or discounts. One use per customer. In the heart of the Highland Strip for 27 years, Trilogy Tattoo has helped tell stories for Memphians for generations. Located at 530 South Highland, Richie and his team are waiting to help you tell yours.
From tattoos to piercings, your body art should be as unique as you are. Voted a Memphis Flyer top 3 tattoo shop in the city of Memphis since day 1. Your story will be safe here at Trilogy Tattoo.
Open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 11 to 11, and 3 to 11 on Sundays. They have convenient times waiting on you. Let Trilogy Tattoo help you tell your story.
Crazy quote from Adam Silver. Let me put out this disclaimer first of all. I am not here to defend Adam Silver at all. See, Adam Silver has a lot of things to criticize, especially if you are a Grizzlies fan, because of how he handled the John Moran situation, all these type of things.
Ridiculous.
And just how he's kind of inconsistent with the way he goes about doing things. Adam Silver kind of became an easy target, especially when you have like, let's have an all-star game and have rookies playing on Sunday, and he just destroyed the All-Star game last year. It just this crazy overconsumption he has with the NBA All-Star weekend. It's totally crazy to me. That what he said was tacky as hell, and it sounded absolutely crazy. I know for a fact, man, as a guy who is a bootleg king who won't pay for none of this shit, I know it's a lot easier to watch this shit now than it was 5 years ago. And I don't see why other people aren't saying the same thing.
Tune in to the Anthony Sain Show Monday through Fridays at 1 p.m. live on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back to the Daily Grind. I do want to take this time to remind y'all that this Saturday at Grind City Brewing is our next College Football Saturday show. We go live at 5:30. Mics are hot at 5:30. It's going to be me. It's going to be Gabe Kuhn of On the Bluff and the Gabe Kuhn Show on ESPN Radio. Drew is going to be there as long as everything kind of falls into place for him around his kids' baseball tournament. But you at least get me and Gabe there. We're going to be hanging out on the front porch. It's going to be hot. It's going to be a great, beautiful day in Memphis. So come on out, have a cold beer with us. On the big screen, they're going to have Clemson, Georgia Tech at 11, Georgia at Tennessee at 2:30, and then the finale being Texas A&M at Notre Dame. I'm going to get there for that Georgia-Tennessee game and hang out for the afternoon, watching some great SEC football. But y'all come out to Grind City Brewing, your home for college football Saturdays this fall. And Jared, before we get too much further into college football, we do have a little bit of NBA news that came out this week, and it applies specifically to Chicago Bulls fans. And Ueno, as one of his fellow brethren Aussies, got a deal. Josh Giddey is finally off the free agent market, signing a 4-year, $100 million deal with the Bulls. In his first year, he's going to be making 22.3, and then his final year is going to be 27.6. Jared, I'm not surprised he re-signed with Chicago, and I'm also not surprised that Chicago threw $100 million at Josh Giddey. I mean, he had a great finish to the year last year, but do you think that Josh Giddey is worth this kind of a payday?
Not really. I mean, the thing I have with it is that he's your highest paid player. The Bulls have not had direction since Jimmy Butler left, really.
Yeah.
And even then, they didn't really have much of a direction regardless. It feels like they keep trying to be this fringe playoff team, but they will never fully embrace a tank, which is what they need to do. They've needed to do for the past several years. And now Josh Giddey, which I get it. He's 22. Mm-hmm. He's great all around, a good all around player. You need to keep a guy like that on your team.
Sure.
But yes, I'm not mad at necessarily the 100 million number. It's the fact that he's their highest paid player. That's the insane part to me. It's just if you can build around that now with the salary cap increases that I think should go in next offseason once the TV deals get set in stone, I think they can go make a few moves. But right now, you did the smart move to lock him up for the future. But just my I guess as y'all like to call it, the $2 Sports Show beef, is him being the highest paid player on the Chicago Bulls.
I mean, that's it. Like, no NBA team in the history of the NBA has looked at their roster and said, you know what this team needs? A Josh Giddey. And that's what Chicago did, and said, we're going to throw a bag at him. I mean, I get it. You're the Bulls. You are, trying to do what you can to be competitive, I think, because like you said, the Bulls are one of those teams that are like, they'll be terrible and they should tank, and then all of a sudden they'll find themselves as the 11 or 12 seed and then get bounced in the first round. So they're kind of in that purgatory to where they're not bad enough to get a good draft pick, to get a player that can help. They're not good enough to attract new players to come and be there. And so that's what they get stuck with, is they get Giddey for Josh Giddey and give him $100 million. Edward's asking, what do you think his ceiling is when he turns 26, Jared?
I mean, he's one of those guys that can get you a triple-double any night. I think if you recall the Lakers game this past year, that was crazy ending where it was like 15 or so points where he, like in like the last 2 minutes where they won. He was facilitator, I think, on 12 or 13 of those 15 points total overall. I think his ceiling is like a consistent, almost walking triple-double any given night. But I don't think it's going to be one of those, 30-point, 10 rebound, 15 assist triple-double. It's going to be one of those more like 15, 10, and 10, 15, 11, and 10, like just anywhere in those numbers. I think that's really his ceiling. Now, if he gets another star, if he gets a true star around him, I think that's where you really see him flourish. But as like the main guy, I don't think he's ever going to be to that level. Get him another star, and that's where you really see the best version of Josh Giddey.
Yeah, so I agree. I think he's kind of at his ceiling where he's at right now. He's averaging 14. He finished last season averaging 14.6 points, 8.1 rebounds, 7.2 assists, and 1.2 steals in the 70 games he played last year, and a career high 37.8% from three. I think that's the ceiling. I think we're seeing the ceiling for Josh Giddey here. I don't know that we're going to get much more out of him. And if that's the case, like you said, you add a star to that, that's a good NBA player. That's a long career in the NBA. It's not an all-star by any means, but it's a contributing player on a team that needs contribution from guys who just doesn't have a star. Yeah.
I'm laughing at Kenny.
That's all top of the head. Giddey for Josh Giddey in Chicago, I guess. But yeah, Josh Giddey getting a $100 million deal is wild. And it's wild that counts as NBA news, but that's where we are in the offseason. We're a month and a half from the season starting. Training camp's going to fire up here in just a few short weeks. And we'll actually have things to talk about. We're
actually, 4 weeks from the first preseason game? I think is October 6th is preseason?
I think that's right. Yeah. It's right around the corner. We've almost made it, boys. We've almost made it. But we're in the point of the season where we are still looking at articles that are talking about new players and new destinations. And ESPN dropped an article this week ranking the 14 new faces to watch on new teams this year. And Jared, I know I've sent you the article. You've already looked it over. I think his internet has froze again. But in the article, the number one player, the number one new face to watch is obviously Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant was the number one ranked player. Obviously, he was the biggest one to be moved this offseason, going to Chicago, going to Houston and helping turn around that franchise and help be the kind of that bridge that gap for that next step to make Houston the true championship contender. Jared, I mean, was there any other choice besides Kevin Durant as the number one new face in the NBA?
No, not really. I mean, that was the cornerstone of all-season NBA trade news. So he's there. I think he's just the name gives him, the biggest face to watch. But if his track record says anything, it's not going to be much to watch. But I think it's just to see if he has that one last big push at, he turns 37 soon. So he's basically see if he's got that one last big push. There's a few on this list that I really do like, but Kevin Durant's up there for namesake. But as far as like total impact, I just feel like there's a couple other names on this list that'll be a little bit more impactful simply just with the history and what Kevin Durant has shown since his tenure at Golden State.
Who you got? Who are you going to be more impact players on this list?
So I saw this and I was kind of shocked that he was at 7, and it's Kristaps Porzingis. And I just, with how bad the East is looking this year, I love the fit. You have Trae Young, if the man can stay healthy, and Kristaps. That's the big thing. I think with Trae Young as his point guard, I lost it again. Maybe, or Rusty froze.
No, you're still here.
Oh, let's go. You froze for a second, got a little scared. But I think Kristaps is going to be one of the bigger, I think, just key pieces that we look back on. Like, okay, the Hawks made a really good deal to find a way to get him in that trade, that dump ball from the Celtics. If he stays healthy, you give not only Trae a down low presence, but you give him a guy where if Trae likes to get into that, drive and kick out role more and more, he has Kristaps either waiting, in the mid range on the opposite block or, like I said, in the corner because he's a good 3-point shooter. So I really like Kristaps, and Miles Turner is 6 on this list. They don't have what's their point guard situation? It just doesn't feel like it's that good. I mean, you have Giannis and
they got Cole Anthony. They got Cole Anthony.
That is
on a run point.
But still, I mean, how realistically are we valuing Cole Anthony? But I mean, I think Cole Anthony has potential to be a great serviceable point guard. But Miles Turner, I don't know how he's going to react without playing without a true point guard in his career for really the first time, because he's had Halliburton since he's been in Indy. One I kind of chuckled at on this list was Norman Powell being number 9 because the Miami Heat are going to be awful.
So bad.
I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. I'm excited to see how Jalen Green bounces. We're kind of back virtually. He's number 10 on this list. There was a conversation. I can't remember if it was on Sane's show or you and Drew's show, how that kind of like traditional shooting guard has kind of gone away a little bit. But I really think that Jalen Green has the potential on a bad Phoenix Suns team who has about 20 billion shooting guards to really re-amplify his career. And then obviously Ty Jerome's on this list. I think he's going to be huge. Those are really my standouts. I mean, you have rookies and you have head coaches on this list. Mike Brown has the chance to be alive. But other than that, I mean, there's some interesting spots on this list, but those are really the ones that stood out that as far as like fit wise on their team.
Yeah, absolutely. And for me, it's the two that you didn't mention that were standing out to me. Obviously, Desmond Bain being on this list, being number 2. He's just such a good fit in Orlando.
Yeah.
High volume, 41% from 3, high volume shooter. He fits exactly what the Magic needs right now to be all in and be better. And that's what it's a perfect fit. Like truly, there's a case that he could have been the number 1 new face just because of how perfectly he fits the system. Because of what you said earlier about Kevin Durant and his track record. I'm also curious to see what the Nikola Jokic effect is on Cam Johnson. They referenced KCP having a poor season with Orlando after he left Jokic. Jokic is really good at making 3-point shooters better because of the attention that he draws and his ability to see the floor. Like, I'm excited to see what that looks like because Cam Johnson's production is already better than Michael Porter Jr. And I think that Nikola Jokic was propping Michael Porter Jr. up a bit. I'm excited to see. Well, I am and I'm not, right? Because I was high on that bandwagon to bring Cam Johnson to Memphis. Then he goes to the freaking Nuggets, like worst case scenario. So like as a hoops head, I'm excited to see that. But as a fan of the Memphis Grizzlies, not so much.
And you remember like the later LeBron Miami and that second Cavs stint where, you know, everyone on the team just looked better because LeBron was there. And especially that 2018 team where he was dishing it around everywhere and led the stats of all 5 major categories. That's what Jokic is doing right now. You put shooters around him where he can kick out and just absolutely make role players better. And that's where Cam Johnson is going to fit in. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. had some really good 3-point shooting for a while he was there. But I think Cam Johnson is going to be a perfect fit for Denver.
Absolutely.
That Denver team is so
Unfortunately.
Unfortunately. Like you mentioned, Hoops Head, going to be great to watch. But when we play them, absolutely not.
Yep. Lastly, the name that jumps out at this, why even on this list, is DeAndre Ayton. Like DeAndre Ayton still being propped up by the media as a decent NBA player is wild to me. Like they say that this surely won't be Ayton's last chance to live up to the potential that earned him a max contract bought out by the Portland Trail Blazers. And it's like, when has he ever earned that contract? Like he's had little glimpses here and there, but I've also seen the guy that's controller dies mid-game, who gives up on rebounds, who just stops hustling and literally just shuts down. And so DeAndre Ayton being number 5 on this list is wild to me. That's a West Coast Lakers bias. I just don't see him being the 5th most impactful player, new face to move around in the NBA next year. That's just an absolute wild take to me. I don't understand it. I do want to mention this really quick. I didn't know what a speed was. I mean, I'd kind of like, this is like the old man, like get off my lawn type moment for me. But I didn't know who that was. And then to watch what is apparently, y'all can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, help me out. Like a YouTube streamer, I'm assuming, who just I've seen him in clips, but I don't really know exactly what he does. But he showed up and he gave Memphis a ton of love. He hung out with Ja and Tripp, as Edward talked about yesterday. Tripp was not in a boot, looked like he's moving well. It's funny to see, like, he was enamored with Ja Morant, and then he treated Jaren like he was just some casual. Like, you can tell, like, Speed doesn't know basketball, because he just treated Jaren like he was just some other dude. Like, he wasn't wasn't like an NBA player in their interview in the parking lot at the FedEx Forum. But I am always a fan of people coming to Memphis, highlighting the good parts of Memphis and giving it love. He went slicing, and if you're from Memphis, you know what that is, with Moneybag Yo yesterday. He did give a lot of love to the city, gave a shout out. He hung out with LBJ on Beale Street, gave shout out to the Chris Vernon show. Like, he just showed a lot of love to the city of Memphis. And like King Meek said, I did hear him say that Memphis is more lit than Nashville, something I never thought I would say. But he's more lit. Memphis is more lit than Nashville. And, again, I love watching people give Memphis their props. And so seeing I Show Speed yesterday in Memphis, Jared giving love to the city. Nope, Jared's not back. Giving love to the city, giving props to Memphis. I'm all for that. I love seeing that. Jared, did you watch any of that? Did you get to see any of the stream?
Yeah, I went back and watched some of the highlights from yesterday because I kept seeing it. I figured out the problem. My VPN was on. I use VPN to watch wrestling on Netflix, so I don't have to, it helps on Fridays. But Yeah, no, I got to watch a lot of it. It was really cool to see. Like I said, I know who Speed is. I don't like sit down and like watch his streams when they come on. But overall, I mean, it's great to see somebody with that much of an impact bring such a positive viewpoint to Memphis. Now, obviously, you go on to any comment section about anyone that's posting about it. They're gonna be people that are just like, oh, Memphis, no, it's still not good. You're there and you're being treated like a celebrity, like he is. He's a big celebrity in the streaming world. But overall, it's so great to see. He had such a fun interaction. There's a lot. Like last night, I saw videos of him on Beale Street. Just with a bunch of people. It is great to see, man. And and it's just great to see him walk around. Great to see him with John and Jaron too. It's just big time, and it's a big
good for the city. It's good for the city with that kind of platform and following, because I know he has a big one. It's good for the city. But speaking of good for the city, we got two more things before we get out of here. We're running a little long today, and that's all right. I don't mind. We have got a very special edition of It's a Trap. Jared, you get an opportunity to play the infamous It's a Trap game. For those of you who are new here, it's a game named in honor of Admiral Akbar Salute, almost mascot for the University of Mississippi, Ole Miss to some. And he helped defeat the Rebel Alliance in Star Wars. Basically, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give our guest 3 bets, and he's got to pick out which one is a trap, which one is wrong. He doesn't have to guess anything else. Just tell me which one is the trap. And Jared, this one is just for you.
Oh, gosh.
We've got Denver and Indy to score 2+ touchdowns. Got a big game this weekend. Jared is a Broncos fan, so Luke cooked this one up just for you. So I'm going to give our guest 3 choices. He's got to pick out which one is a trap. Are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So the first one, it's a trap. Denver, Indy to score 2+ touchdowns. These are all Bronco players. So J.K. Dobbins plus 1,000.
Okay.
Cortland Sutton plus 1,200. Or Evan Ingram plus 2,000 to score 2+ touchdowns on FanDuel. Your home for any sports bets this weekend. FanDuel.com.
Oh, man. So it's Dobbins 1,000. I like that because our running game stepped up big in the fourth quarter. So I feel like that's good. Sut is going to be interesting because it all depends on how Bo Nix bounces back, and they had a touchdown connection last week. Evan Ingram, that dang it, man. I think they're gonna, with Bo Nix's performance last week, I think they're gonna lay off a little bit. So give me the Sutton plus 1,200 or whatever it is. No,
got him. It's a trap. So the real ones were J.K. Dobbins at plus 1,000. Cortland Sutton is plus 1,200. Where we got you, you were right in your mindset was exactly right. Because R.J. Harvey is plus 2,000.
Okay.
Evan Ingram is plus 2,700. So the logic was there. You just didn't quite finish it out.
That makes sense. That makes sense. R.J. Harvey and J.K. Dobbins, especially in that fourth quarter, proved they can be a formidable duo. Kenny, we are now tied, so you're welcome.
He's looking out for you.
It's just, seeing the plus like 2,000 there for Evan Ingram felt like it was far enough away. Because he only had like 1 catch last week. It felt like it was far enough away from being a good bet. So I was like, that's gotta be right. But overall, I mean, those are not bad. I would probably take that Dobbins line, if anything. Malcolm Brogdon, some news here. Just signed a 1-year deal with the Knicks.
Malcolm Brogdon is a Knick. There you go, dropping live news here on the Daily Grind. For those of y'all that are still hanging out with us, we appreciate it. But I don't know that moves the needle a ton for the Knicks because they're super deep. But, I mean, it gives them some more shooting, I guess.
Oh, yeah.
But before we get out of here, we always talk on Fridays about the weekend outlook. I'm going to save y'all my butchering of a Sean Connery accent that Luke does a lot better than I do. So I'm going to save y'all from that. So, Jared, I am going to throw up from FanDuel. I know what you're going to be doing tonight. You're going to be calling the Westview Chargers football game. But on Saturday, I have a feeling I know what you're going to be doing. And that's watching Ole Miss and Arkansas. Arkansas is a 6.5-point road underdog in Oxford. Real quick. Can the Hogs pull out a win?
It's Arkansas Ole Miss, 5-5 in the last 10. They've had some crazy games. You go back to 4th and 25. Sorry, Drew. You go back to you go to I think it was 2021 where Ole Miss won 52-51 because Arkansas couldn't get a 2-point conversion to fall in what was a fun game. And then you have somewhere in that mix a 38-37 Arkansas win where it was just a wild comeback. And then you just have so many close games This game sets up for something weird every single time. Now, granted, last year wasn't much of anything because it was a, put your teeth on the curb and you get stomped. It's how that game ended for Arkansas. But I think they can do it. They played basically a JV middle school version this past week of what Ole Miss likes to do. You just got to get pressure on their quarterback, force him into early mistakes. He's a freshman. He's thrown 4 interceptions through the first 2 games. I think if we get pressure on him early, it's going to kind of rattle him a little bit. It's tough because Arkansas I don't have a big confidence in right now. We've played Alabama A&M and Arkansas State. 2 cupcakes. Cupcakes. I think they can do it. I do think we cover the spread. I will say that. I do think we cover the spread, but I do not think I don't think we win. I think Ole Miss pulls this one off kind of in the traditional Arkansas Ole Miss fashion late in the fourth quarter.
I do like that. I like the Arkansas to cover. I also like the over anytime Ole Miss and Arkansas play because we've seen 51-50. We've seen the 4th and 20. We've seen 7 overtimes. Like we've seen some games between these teams. The over-under is set at 62.5. So they are expecting points tomorrow. I am as well.
Well, Ole Miss hit it by themselves last year. So
I think we'll get a little bit different this year. But before we get out of here on the Weekend Outlook, we do want to remind you one more time, tomorrow, College Football Saturdays at Grind City Brewing. Y'all come hang out with us at 5:30 tomorrow. Mics go live at 5:30. We will be live on YouTube for those that are out of town. But if you are in the greater Memphis area, come out to Grind City Brewing. It is the spot for college football this fall. We're going to have the major games on the projector that you see here on your screen. Your game can be on a side TV at your individual table. Come hang out with us. Have a beer with me. It's going to be an awesome time. I'm going to get there at 2:30, and we'll be hanging out for the rest of the day.
And I will probably be making a stop.
Let's go.
I have a disc golf tournament down in South Haven. It's the biggest one that this company runs every single year down there. So I'll be unfortunately I can't leave tonight because I have an away game. But no, I'm driving down early in the morning and it's a 2-rounder. So hopefully get done at a decent time where I can swing by. Rusty, do they sell like cans that I can take back to Martin?
Absolutely. They've got a separate fridge. You can get cans to go. I highly recommend getting a 4-pack of the Thaddeus.
I will.
That's what
I'm hoping for. So I'll definitely make a stop by before I hit the interstate and head home tomorrow. Come see the guys. Come see y'all set up again. It's going to be hot, but I do think with it being in the evening, y'all are going to have a much better turnout. It's a fun show. I love what y'all are doing there. And Kenny, just know y'all aren't getting game day because we're coming for an upset next week. I had to get the one shot off because he clipped that and made it the commercial. So I had to get the one shot off before we left here. So
yeah, I guess we're even now. But that's going to do it for the Daily Grind. Jared, thanks for being here with me today, buddy. I appreciate you, man. Thanks for hanging out. Jalen, Kenny, King Meeks, Edward, everybody in the comments, thank y'all for being here. If you were on X, next time join us on YouTube. The comments are popping off here. Come chop it up with us. Jared, we appreciate you, buddy. You're welcome back anytime. Luke will be back on Monday. Come today, 11 a.m., right back here. The 2 Buck Sports Show are picking against the FanDuel spread. And you got the Anthony Sane Show at 1 o'clock. Y'all be good, and we'll see y'all next time.
Thank you for listening to The Daily Grind. If you enjoyed this episode, leave a rating and a review wherever you download your podcasts. Also, like and subscribe to Bluff City Media's YouTube page. We'll see you back here next time.